Hi everyone and welcome to the Wonderland skirt. I'm going to show you how you can cut this circle skirt without a pattern. Of course you can buy my pattern too, but if you don't want to do that, then this is how. Measure the hip of your child, and if that is 68 centimeters, you need to divide that by 6.28, which is twice pi, and that gets you to 10.82, and we'll round that off to 10.8. Now from the corner of your paper, we're doing a quarter circle first. You measure down that 10.8 equally from that corner. Then you also measure up 1 centimeter to include the seam allowance, otherwise it's going to be too big. And you also measure down the complete length of the skirt. And you also need to add a centimeter to that. So that's actually quite quick and easy, isn't it? Now you cut out your skirt, duplicate it 3 times and then stick them together. You will see in a minute why that's so much easier than folding your fabric. You have got a lining and you've got a shell fabric, so place those both on top of each other with the right sides on the inside. Put your pattern over the top, place some weights on the top, and then just simply cut it out. And then you can remove your pattern, and while it's still on the floor, where it's probably going to be, start pinning it all the way around the edge. And you can see here I've pinned it, and the right side is on the inside. So fast. Once you've got your pattern prepared, you can just go and you can whip these up. Now all I have to do is stitch all the way around the outside, and that will be my skirt already. Now for the waistband, we're doing a yoga waistband, and that's actually the width of the waist, and you want to take off maybe 1 inch. So now I'm sewing all the way around the edge, and this is so much easier than hemming a circle skirt. Anyone that's hemmed a circle skirt knows how long that takes, and it's really no fun. So do it like this. It's so easy. Cut back your seam allowance, and then all we have to do is turn the whole lot and iron it really well. That's quite important. When you iron something that has sequences on, like my thing, then you want to use an ironing cloth. Something that will not burn and protect your fabric, and you work your way all the way around. You wiggle around the edge nice and smooth. You could also understitches, of course, first, but it's not necessary for this. Next we're going to sew together our yoga waistband. It's very important now that you change your needle to a ballpoint needle so that you don't leave out any stitches while you're sewing. Again, the seam allowance here is 1 centimeter. Sew all the way down. So quick, this little skirt. You're going to love this when you're making them. And we've retained some of the elasticity by pulling slightly. Then we want to iron the seam apart as well. Now, once I've ironed it, my fabric has shifted a little bit, so cut it back so you get a really nice circle here. And then I'm putting pins in which are vertical to the circle there. Now I'm going to mark the 4 sides basically. So I'm taking where my seam is, and opposite of that I'm going to snip, and then I'm putting that snip back on the seam, and I'm snipping the other corner so that I get my 4 corners basically, and then I can do the same on the skirt, of course, and then I can marry those 4 up, and that's basically your skirt done. Now you take your yoga band and you just put that over the top. It's quite important actually that you sew this from the yoga band side. It's really hard from the other side. and I'm just moving a pin into each one of those, well, we don't really have corners in a circle skirt, you know, but the 4 partition points, and we put them on top of each other. Then the rest is just going to be stretched on. Makes quite a difference having something that's really fast from my patterns, or if you made your own pattern. This is so quick, I'm quite loving this. And now when I turn this over, you can see how lovely that will look. So off to the sewing machine. I'm taking my arm off actually, and then I'm putting my skirt over the top, and that's easier for this skirt. I'm also stitching with a triple stitch here so that I retain the elasticity. That is a stitch that goes backwards, forwards, and seems to take forever, but that way the thread won't rip or break when you have any tension on it, and you could use a slight zigzag as well if you wanted to. I like these skirts fairly flat around the waist. I don't like them too gathered because I think that doesn't really look that fantastic unless it's a really light fabric, which this isn't. This is quite structural with a lining, so the flatter the better. So now that it's sewn on, you can see all we have to do is overlock. And while you're overlocking, you should stretch it a bit. I'm not sure you can see that there's any tension on that, but you should stretch it as far as you can, unless of course you've got stretchy overlocking thread. And you can see it is a very quick skirt. You've got a beautiful hem, very clean, no top stitching, and a very comfy waistband. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.